Everybody, you know, there, some people, and literally, and the kids actually, I mean, and they keep actually hearing from the buddy.
Yeah, I always have that. I love that. But
What's going on? How are you?
I just felt like I was.
For that episode is hilarious. By the timing, right? My childhood cartoon that not forgotten.
How's everybody? Good. That's awesome. Yeah.
I learned.
Good to see you.
I learned. I learned that was probably not paid to not paid.
Text me.
You basically send it back. You send it back.
Our first game.
I was driving myself nuts. Driving myself nuts with my mic. I'm not getting any audio from my mic.
Oh,
It wasn't
yeah.
turned on.
Oh,
It's a little strange. There is nobody in the Zoom. Not a single person. It is suspicious, but also so maybe nobody's looking.
Yeah, everyone's scared.
Yeah, maybe
Like, oh no, okay, good. Someone just joined. All right. Like, did we not send?
Hopefully they can't hear us.
No, it's muted.
There you go.
Central Command saying the target of the strike, a Kataib Hezbollah commander, was responsible for in the region. The nighttime attack occurred in Baghdad. It comes days into a campaign of retaliatory strikes by U.S. forces in response to a recent deadly attack on American soldiers.
It was a tunnel for top Hamas leaders.
Years of booming.
And then a disturbing discovery.
The Israeli military says this was a
Officers are reporting to be in stable condition. These have been desperate hours in the hills east of San Diego after a missing Marine Corps helicopter was found, but not its aircrew. Officials say 5 Marines were aboard when it vanished from radar overnight. Dana Griffin reports.
Tonight, the urgent search for 5 missing Marines. Their helicopter disappearing overnight in a remote area of San Diego County during a routine training flight.
Is rugged terrain, it's slippery, it's muddy out, we have snow.
Military officials confirming the missing helo was located this morning. Now, a rescue effort for the 5 on board. All were assigned to the 3rd Marine Aircraft Wing. They were flying a CH-53E Super Stallion helicopter like this one. In a statement, the Marines say the crew departed from Creech Air Force Base near Las Vegas Tuesday night, headed to Williamsport Air Station Miramar in San Diego County. Super Stallion is primarily used for transporting heavy equipment. It was last detected around 11:30 p.m. Tuesday, according to CAL FIRE, 50 miles east of its destination. Once the aircraft was reported overdue, search and rescue teams were dispatched.
They had to go on foot to search the area, the coordinates of last known location of that helicopter.
Overnight conditions near the crash were a mix of rain and heavy snow. It's unclear if the severe weather was a factor in the crash. Tonight, all focus is on finding those 5 missing Marines. Officials have not released an update on the search and rescue, but we do know that the same type of helicopter was involved in another crash over 5 years ago in a different training mission in California, killing 4 Marines. Lester?
Dana Griffin, thank you. And also in California, at least 4 people are confirmed dead, and that toll expected to rise after the severe weather that swept across the state, with more than 400 mudslides reported.
Meeting of the Arlington County Democratic Committee. Are there any Democrats in the House? Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's going to be a really exciting night tonight. We've got a lot of great presentations, some candidate announcements I know everybody's looking forward to. But before we get started, let me see a show of hands. How many people, is this the first time you've been to a meeting in the Arlington County? I hope you enjoy what we've got going tonight. We do a lot of great work throughout the year, elected Democrats inside Arlington and beyond. I know there's going to be a great group of us headed up to New York 3 this weekend to knock doors for Tom Suozzi. And if you're interested in that, you want to speak to our Beyond Arlington chair, Kim Malinowski, right in the back of the room. Arlington Democrats is a welcoming committee. Everyone is welcome here. Our mission is electing Democrats up and down the ballot, registering the voters, increasing participation, and building our democratic organization. We work to engage each other with dignity and respect. We work to gain understanding about one another and exemplify the best of our democratic values to foster equity and unity within our community. This is our agenda tonight. So right up front, we've got a few event announcements and a few voting items. And so the first announcement is going to be our second Saturday breakfast this coming Saturday. Starts right around 9:30. You don't want to miss this. Our very own Congressman Don Beyer will be speaking on artificial intelligence. I think he went back to college to get a degree in this. And Senator Aaron Rouse is coming up from Virginia Beach to visit with us and announce the congressman. So that'll be exciting to have Senator Rouse in Arlington. If you're not around later on for the precinct ops presentation, we just want you to know that the book club is reading Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. Be sure to get your copy at Central Library or wherever you can find one soon and get reading that. We did have our steering retreat last weekend or weekend before. And came up with some top level goals for the committee this year. As every year, we want to turn out every last Democratic vote in Arlington. Second, we want to get back to having quality conversations with voters. So much of the pandemic has separated us by the small screen. And we're really going to work this year to get back on the doors and on the phones and talking one-on-one with our voters. Expand our party and the electorate, try to reach our high-rise voters, register new voters, and above and beyond all, keep Virginia blue and win the presidential election. Now we got a couple of voting items. So for all committee members who are eligible to vote, time of year that we do have to pick method of nomination for this year. It's simply for our county board race. Might be suggested. Someone might make a motion that we choose primary.
I'll do the primaries.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of primary, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Let's see. Oh, no, we're doing the precinct captains a little bit later. So the next thing we're going to vote on is that we did do a resolution for the life of our dear friend Craig Hines. And we do want to pass that at this meeting tonight. And there's a QR code you can pull it up on your phone. Paul, did you want to just read real quick through the whereases on that?
Whereas Craig had an illustrious decades-long career in journalism as a political reporter prior to joining the Arlington Democrats. Whereas Craig served as precinct captain in Rock Creek, his home precinct, for over a decade. Whereas Craig supported myriad projects within the Arlington Democrats and Arlington Young Democrats, ranging from phone banking to work on the kitchen crew to delivering messengers, giving freely both his time and treasure. Whereas for years, Hines organized with fellow activist Marjorie Hobart calls with Arlington seniors, ensuring that they were informed about upcoming elections and had transportation to the polls. Whereas Craig frequently volunteered as an observer at the polls during early voting, helping to ensure that elections were run fairly. Whereas Craig often served as a circuit rider on election day, visiting as many as 6 precincts periodically throughout the day to ensure that Democratic poll greeters had the supplies and support they needed and were not encountering any problems. Whereas Craig was elected parliamentarian of the Arlington Democrats and served with distinction for 8 years. Whereas Craig served on the 8th Congressional District 2012 Resolutions Committee, proposing progressive solutions to political, economic, and social problems in Virginia for consideration by the state Democratic Party. Whereas Craig served on the Rules Committee for the 8th Congressional District in District 2016 convention. Whereas Craig was elected to as national delegate for Hillary Clinton in the 2016 Democratic National Convention. Whereas Craig represented Virginia's 8th Congressional District in 2020 as its presidential elector for President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Whereas Craig was elected in February 2020 to the 8th Congressional District Democratic Committee and the Democratic Party of Virginia Central Committee, serving for over 3 years. Whereas Craig advised, supported, and campaigned for Democratic candidates for many years all across Virginia. Whereas Craig's joy for life, passion for opera, love of world travel, and a fine restaurant, along with his wit, ability to turn phrase, and his friendship and kindness endeared him throughout the Arlington Democrats. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Arlington County Democratic Committee hereby notes with deep sadness Craig's loss, and be it resolved by the Arlington County Democratic Committee will prepare a copy of this resolution for presentation for Craig's partner Bruce Crane as an expression of the committee's respect and fondness for Craig's appreciation for his life of service to the committee and our community.
That's this resolution.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Great to remember our dear friend Craig. He was
Rock Creek.
Rock Creek Preschool.
Rock Spring.
Rock Spring, yeah, you got it.
We knew what you meant.
Craig was a legend. All right, so without any further ado, I'm going to bring up the chair of our county board for a county board report.
Thank you. The camera's over there, but where do I push this? I will try. I think I can do it. But before I talk, I want a couple quick things. How many here listen to Ezra Klein? Yeah, really good. Did you hear recently? He's had.
phone is not on.
Oh. It is. You want me to talk louder? There you go. All right. How many of you listen to Ezra Klein? All right. Same hands. Cool. Great podcast. And he's doing a series on, politics as Gavin does in the Democratic Party. And I was listening to the guy who has a positive view about how the Democrats are going to do. And one of the reasons and things he cited was, some recent elections that have been going on and state of Virginia and turning things in is because Democrats, it's not just within that district, they come from outside the district to help. And that's how we help. That's what we said, analyze. That's part of the reason we flipped the General Assembly. So, congratulations, because I know a lot of those people sit here in this room, which is cool. And then the back slideshow, which I made, figure out how to do better. I have to tell you, I arrived, it's busy. I told my aide, could you please send the slides? And we just said, well, just send it to Steve Baker, here's this address. This is the wrong address, as I discovered just as I walked into the room like a few minutes ago. And Steve said, no, I don't have it. Can you send it again? Which we did, got it to Paul. And really, in like 3 minutes, this young man has loaded it up here. Here it is, ready to go. Looks like he's on it. That is great. All right, I'm not going to be too long on the report. I mean, the beginning of the year, we always start off with the beginning of the year. We got a new board, 2 new board members. As I think you're well aware, one of the things I pointed out that I realized as I was preparing my remarks, which is kind of cool. So Maureen Coffey is the youngest ever. And I don't know, because it's kind of hard to check. We haven't really done all the work to do it, but I'm pretty sure when I leave at the end of this term, the end of this year, I will be the oldest. I think. Ellen Bosman was 72 and I will be 73. Hard to believe it. So that's pretty cool. And it's really a transition. And this is just a great board to work with. I'm really enjoying it a whole lot and looking forward to this year. All right. Oh no, I have to point it like there. Oh, we did it. All right, do I go back one? All right, I think that's it. Bright spots. Okay. So I'll just talk a little bit about the economy because, I know we all want to do housing. There are all these things we have to do with what pays for it. It's basically the economy here. So it really is important that it's working pretty well. We got a lot of bright spots. Unemployment rate, really, really low. Good growth in revenues. Small business owners are increasing. We got this launch program, which works with legacy businesses and small businesses, which is great. And we've got a lot more new residential units built. And I have to point it. Where do I point it? It should just work. Well, economic headwinds, which I think we all know. So hybrid work and the flight to quality. That means that people aren't sitting in the office so much anymore, and that means people don't need office space and they don't want to pay for it. And we've got a lot of empty buildings or partially empty buildings. And they don't pay much in taxes, and that lowers our revenue, which is a major deal. Also, what's happening is the really high quality new office buildings are doing pretty well. They get kind of filled up with the ones that aren't so new, and we have those that are struggling a whole lot more. And yeah, tight capital markets, interest rates are high, as we all know. And then it's not just the taxes that those buildings pay, it's the fact that people aren't coming to work because they're not going out to lunch. They're not shopping, they're not going to dry cleaners and things like that. So it just affects the whole economy of the county. So that's something that you can expect your county board to be worrying about and thinking about. And as we discuss the budget, people come and talk to us a lot about what they want, which is great. Advocates are wonderful, but the county board's got to figure out how we're going to pay for it. And unfortunately, in Virginia, we can't tax businesses differently from homeowners. So it's not like we can raise taxes on businesses and not on everyone sitting in this room. So it's a little bit of a balancing act, so you'll just expect to hear some of that discussion, I just thought I would let you know, it's not easy with everything else, okay, let's be honest. Okay, so we are doing some things, the things that I think we long should have done, we've got sometimes pretty restrictive zoning about what can be and can't be there, like for a while, you know, like dog grooming places couldn't be located in certain places, sometimes dentists can't be in certain places. You know, a lot of limits that we have that don't really make sense and make it very hard for businesses to grow and thrive. And it's harder to then replace, somebody leaves, who's gonna move in there? Well, no, you don't qualify, you don't qualify, you don't. So we're trying to make it a lot more reasonable and a lot more flexible so that it's easy for businesses to come in here and thrive. We're careful, we're gonna make sure that you don't have somebody that's like, I don't know, just like small explosives next to your house, we're not gonna do that, right? We're gonna be careful about it, but we do need to be more flexible and we're working hard on doing that sort of thing. You'll be seeing a lot of that if you look at it. Placemaking efforts. That's really huge because if you think about it, when people are working remotely, they can work anywhere, right? I mean, I knew in a family, they just headed off to Mexico for 3 months and just had a great time in Mexico while working remotely. Why should they be here? Particularly when the schools weren't. We've got to give people a reason to be here, and everybody's got to be somewhere, right? You got to be somewhere. So most people want to be at this place, you know, with their parks, and trees, and you can play pickleball. Yeah, the most thing. But anyway, we want it to be in the right place that people want to be. That's what placemaking is all about. And that's important in this economy because there's a lot of competition out there, and we need to give people a reason to want to be here. Yeah. Okay, I think that's enough. Let's see. We just started on Monday. We started our kickoff to start Arlington 2050. So the last time Arlington did visioning was in, anybody want to guess? Yes.
1976.
Looks 86.
Oh.
Close. 1986. Yep, there was a report. Arlington 2000 and beyond. Ooh, we're really beyond. So it's like time to think about it again. And so we started off with, I decided to start off with an event that is supposed to get everybody's intellectual juices going, if you will, right? So we had a panel. It went great. We had a lot of people. I know some of the people in this room went to it. A little bit for those of you who weren't there, my team. If you're going to look at 2050 and look ahead, actually, the first thing I want to say is, why do we want to think about where we want to go? Why would you do visioning? Because as Yogi Berra said, if you don't know where you're going, you won't get there. If you want to get somewhere, you better think about where it is you want to get. So that's where we get. So that's sort of the whole idea of doing some visioning, deciding where we want to go. All right, so that's going to be in 2050. So there's some things that are already baked in about 2050 that you probably can't change too much. One of those is climate, right? We're all working hard on slowing down climate change. We're all doing what we can because it's so slow. It's kind of already baked in what the climate's going to be like in 2050. A lot more rain and water here, most likely, more flooding, a lot of issues that we need to be thinking about and dealing with. And the other thing that's kind of baked in is demographics, because the people who are going to be born and alive in 2050 are already kind of in the works now, right? So that's not going to change too much. So we had a climatologist come, Jason Stamenow from the Post, and we had a demographer come, Hamilton Lombard from the Weldon Cooper Center at Virginia Tech. And so they kind of tried to lay the groundwork a little bit about what they see. This video, there's a video of the whole presentation, and the presentation's up on our website as of tonight or tomorrow morning. So you can see it. It was a fascinating discussion. And then we also had the business perspective. So we had Steve Hartzell from Amazon. Amazon's always kind of thinking ahead. And then we had finally education, and we had Dr. Gregory Washington from George Mason. He was fantastic. He really got people. It's like, wow. So I invite you to look at that if you'd like. And talking about where we're going to be. One of those issues, another headwind that we are facing and need to be thinking about, is that we are losing young families at a very large rate. It's very expensive to live here. And so it's really important that we find ways to attract and retain our young families. I don't know how much we can apply. We can't supply everybody with a house and big events in the yard because we don't have that much space. But we can make sure our schools are good. We can make sure that support for families is good. Child care. It would be really good, more job there. And we can make sure that families are comfortable living here, so that's something that we need to be working on. So what are we doing with this whole visioning? Everybody's invited to participate. When I told people what my concept is, that we have, like, I think it's about 238,000 people live in Arlington. Ideally, I have something from all 238,000 saying what they want Arlington to be in 2050. We won't quite do that, but we're working hard on getting as much input as we can. We started at the dinner. So after the discussion, people ate, and then they have cards at their table, postcards, which we call postcards for the future. So we asked people to think about what you want the future to look like. And on the flip side of the postcard, it kind of says, "Dear Arlington 2024, wish you were here. I'm here in Arlington 2050. It's great because that. And then you put down why it's great." So that's just to kind of make it simple for people. You can put it on a postcard. There are postcards as of tomorrow morning. They're going to be dropped off at every public library here in town, all of our local libraries. And there's a Dropbox, you can drop them in. There is online a QR code, so you can do it that way and fill it out. You can fill it out, on your computer, however you want to do it. We're going to be doing more work. We're actually going to be getting a consultant, because the big problem, right, is to get all of those 238,000 ideas and try to organize them. That's a little hard. So we're going to be getting somebody to do that. I hope that this group will participate, maybe as a group, maybe as Democrats. You can see fill out postcards. Or what you can do is you can get a group together and talk about a specific issue if you'd like. There's people concerned about change in government. You can get those people together and they can come out with some ideas. We're gonna have lots of ways to participate. I think Steve's giving me the eye, and I think you've got a lot of speakers coming, so I'll stop there. And I hope you all will participate, and Arlington 2050 at arlingtonva.us. Please join us for the next 8 months. It's gonna be fun.
Anybody have a question for our chair?
That's fine, I'll say.
All right,
I'm good.
thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. So we've got a few candidate announcements today. We've got to have 4, 1 for county board, 3 for school board. For our school board people that showed up, I think we put you in alphabetical order. I hope that'll be okay. Rules of the road on candidate announcements. People were offered to have someone introduce them. Everyone has 4 minutes. If someone is introducing you, the introducer has 1 minute, and then the speaker has 3 minutes. If no one is introducing you, you get the full 4 minutes. We do have a timer right here. And Zach Lennox, thank you so much for doing the timing. He's got a 1 minute card, a 30-second card, and a time's up card. So when he holds that thing up, please do take note. And without any further ado, hang on a second. I believe that introducing Tinley Peterson will be Jessie Bridges. If she could come up.
Everyone, feel pressure to talk really fast. So I'm going to do that to give you all your time. It is a privilege to introduce Tinley Peterson, who is a visionary leader and friend, whose dedication to our community is as deeply rooted as the history of our shores, from Green Valley to River Crest. Hers is a testament of leadership that is both collaborative and forward-thinking. Tinley has been a steward in shaping our county's future, ensuring that growth is not just planned, but also principled. That there's an eye towards sustainability and equity in everything she does. And Tinley is a weaver of community ties. Her work across pivotal commissions reflects a holistic approach to governance, one that values every voice, that looks at impact from multiple dimensions, and that seeks to uplift every resident. And so tonight, as Tinley steps forward as candidate for Arlington County Board, she brings with her a promise of inclusive, thriving, and responsibly planned development of Arlington. And with that, I am pleased to welcome my friend and neighbor, Tinley Peterson. Hi,
I'm Sunny Peterson. Thank you for having me here tonight. I'm an APS mom, a progressive Democrat, and a candidate for Arlington County Board. I have more than a decade of local government experience, leading budget reviews as the chair of the Fiscal Affairs Advisory Commission and now serving as a planning commissioner. Growing up, public service was a family value. My dad was a school board member in our small Massachusetts town, and my mom was a library trustee. After my husband's 7 years of service in the Navy, we chose Arlington. We love the schools, the local businesses, the public transit, the walkable neighborhoods, cultural diversity. I could go on and on. We feel so fortunate to be raising our 3 young kids here. There's so much to love about Arlington, but our region is changing. We must be intentional about how we grow and adapt, ensuring it works for all Arlingtonians. Arlington needs housing that works for everyone. I was proud to support expanded housing options. And we must remember our past vision and success as a transit-oriented community, one that promotes family-sized units and affordable housing near public transit. It is essential that we support our schools. As an APS parent and a substitute teacher, I know firsthand that we have an incredible school system, but there are disparities. We must guarantee all of our students graduate for whatever they choose, whether it's college, military service, or a job. Arlington also must support those in need. A strong social safety net and caring for our community members is essential to our character as a progressive community. We need to make sure that every veteran, every family, every child has a home to live in, healthy meals, proper health care, including mental health services, and a safe place to go when home is not safe. And finally, Arlington must be a leader in addressing climate change. I will continue to support sustainability efforts in our community development work, including preserving our parks and trees, building stormwater infrastructure, and reducing emissions. There's so much more that I want to share with you, including improving our public safety and lowering our office vacancy rates. Please visit my website, tenleypeterson.com, and let's chat soon. Thank you so much.
Wow. All right, let's see. So any further ado, I want to, Kathleen Clark, do you have someone introducing you? Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Buenas noches a todos. My name is Cecilia Klein. I'm an Arlington resident, Latina, and mother to an APS student. Me llamo Cecilia Klein. Soy residente de Arlington, orgullosa chilena y madre de un hijo en APS. Tonight, I have the privilege to present to you my dear friend Kathleen Clark for Arlington School Board. Kathleen shows up. She finds solutions. I have seen her step up for her own kids and for the whole APS community through her advocacy work. When Kathleen has an idea, she puts it into action. Last year, she collaborated with the Parent Resource Center to create a dual language training program around drug use and neurodiverse students. Kathleen has personally inspired me and many others to get involved in advocacy and leadership in Arlington Public Schools. And I'm so grateful she's running for school board. Please join me in welcoming Kathleen Clark for school board. Kathleen Clark para la Junta Escolar de Arlington.
Gracias, Cecilia. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here, and thank you to my family and friends, my husband Luke, and my kids who are here with me tonight. My name is Kathleen Clark, and I am running for school board because our school system must work well for all students. And I want to help make that happen. I am uniquely positioned to represent our community on the Arlington School Board. Not only will I have children at every level of APS next year, but I have volunteered extensively in our community. Throughout my 6 years of leadership within the special education PTA,
I was a passionate supporter of teachers, families, and students across APS who are often overlooked in our system. I'm currently serving as Vice Chair of APS's Strategic Plan Steering Committee. Over the fall, I reviewed over 4,000 survey responses from across the community, which has enabled me to start this campaign, having already listened to thousands of families. And here's what they're saying. Every student deserves to achieve academic success. Every student has the right to feel safe and included at school. Every teacher wants and deserves to feel heard, supported, and appreciated. And our community wants high-quality schools and a school system that is operationally effective and sustainable. This is what I want too. I am running for school board because Arlington deserves a school board member who will work to equitably support students and raise achievement no matter where you live. Have you heard the saying that Arlington is a system of schools, not a school system? It's true. I have witnessed firsthand how each school operates early intervention programs differently. And I am committed to changing this so that your zip code doesn't determine your educational opportunities. Arlington deserves a school board member that takes action to fix problems. I have fought for inclusion and I have acted on the drug and mental health issues seen in our schools. Arlington deserves a school board member who will work to retain and reward our best teachers. I firmly believe in paying and retaining our best teachers for their experience and performance. Finally, Arlington deserves a school board member who prioritizes instruction while developing long-range plans, ensuring that there are seats available where our population is growing. My experience as an internal auditor has taught me to ask the right questions around priorities and budget. My name is Kathleen Clark, and I am a proud APS graduate, and I would be honored to have your vote in the May School Board Caucus. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Let's see.
Without any further ado, I'm going to welcome up Larry Fischthaler.
Once before, you honored me with your endorsement. I'm here again to ask for your endorsement again.
Eat the mic.
I now have new experience on that our school board urgently needs. And because the seriousness of the issues we already have and the ones that we need to anticipate. Last Friday, I completed a long-term sub-assignment that week. One of the several post-COVID assignments. My campaign is just beginning, but I'm going to tell you what it's about. The COVID experience and the return to school have done significant damage to the confidence that our schools are providing the best education possible. That evidence has two aspects, external and internal. The external relates especially to parents of our students. Although slowly improving somewhat, that confidence is not built back quickly. I understand this. I have 3 decades of dedicated service to APS, including as chair of the Advisory Council on Instruction and president of the Common Council, PTA. The view from the inside is very different. The most valuable asset that we have in our schools are our teachers and school-based staff. It is here that confidence in the leadership of the central administration and the school board itself continues to decline. The improvements that parents see happen because particular teachers particularly have taken on an increase in workload and additional stress. Because of slow reactions, failure to anticipate, lack of understanding of classroom dynamics, and other mistakes, faculty feel acute this lack of confidence. We need to rethink to reprioritize, rebalance. To do this work, we need to resolve issues that we have now and anticipate what's next. We need to fundamentally reimagine education. We have real work to do in realigning our efforts to achieve the best for our students within the resources available, now and for the future. My 3 decades of service from the external, now coupled with internal experience, and both of those combined with my previous professional experience as a systems engineer working at the highest levels of NASA. But in closing, I want to stress this point about the schools. One thing. Given information available, anyone can get an AI bot to tell you what to do. But what is missing from this is how it feels to actually be in the classroom, working with the students, to help them achieve their goals in education. I'm Larry Fishthaler. I hope to earn your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry. Our third school board candidate, Zariah Tapia Hadley, and introducing will be former county board member Walter Tejada.
Good evening, honorable Democrats. It is my pleasure to stand before you to introduce my friend, Zariah Tapia Hadley, to announce she's running for the school board. She's a 20-year Arlington resident, and I've always been impressed with Zariah's pleasant, professional leadership style. She has the ability to build consensus to solve tough policy issues. She likes bringing people together to get results, and is not afraid to roll up her sleeves and, as part of a team, get things done. Zariah cares deeply for those who need the most support in our community. She has been active in the Arlington community, whether as a member of the school advisory board committee, the Latino Parents of Fairmont Immersion, and her PTA, and other organizations, whether in English or in Spanish. Zariah has demonstrated leadership time and again. As a Democrat, she has volunteered countless local, state, and national campaigns. Most importantly, she and her husband Ross are parents with 2 children in Arlington Public Schools, making her a true stakeholder in tune with educational issues. Our Arlington community will be fortunate if she can serve in a school board. Please join me in welcoming someone who will be a terrific school board member, Zariah Tapia Hadley.
Thank you, Walter. Can't thank you enough. And Emma Sanchez, the Honorable, who's also here. Lenny Gonzalez in spirit, Andres Tovar, Alfonso Lopez, and all of my family and friends supporting me here today. And I hope to earn the support and the vote of each of you as well. And why I'm running. In the words of Ann Richards, why should your life be just about you? In Arlington, really, I think that we're at a crossroads. Our school system has so much to be proud of. But if we're not vigilant, I fear that we can fall back in ways that will deeply hurt our kids, the quality of our schools, and all our families. As a 20-year Arlington resident, a mother to kids in elementary school, one about to go off to middle school, and as a longtime Democratic organizer, I can't sit on the sidelines. As a school board member, I would approach every single decision, starting with the goal in mind first. Focused on the mission to ensure all students learn and thrive in safe, healthy, and supportive learning environments. I'm uniquely suited to help ensure the school board benefits from the most substantive and representative insights from the community, and that the community feels as well an open door to the school board. I want to lift all voices, be they more muted or be they loud. I'm a proactive learner. I've heard from many of you about wide-ranging concerns, from class sizes to issues around addiction and safety, but I promise that I will always be open to learning more. I believe in the strength of all of Arlington's programs and maintaining strong, high-quality neighborhood schools, and my boys happen to be in the dual language immersion program at Claremont. being a bilingual bicultural mom, I believe gives me greater access to the ideas, questions, and concerns on the ground being part of the system. I have 20 years of intergovernmental experience building strategic partnerships, you can read more in the flyer, and if elected, I will work with the school board to bring us together with the private sector, other county agencies, the county board, private industries, and private individuals to address so many of the issues we're facing, from ensuring that we continue to attract and retain the very best educators and staff, to addressing issues around after-school programs, attendance, and well-being. As a Democrat, I'll make sure that we're also talking about this in at least 2 languages. I speak Spanish fluently, and getting the vote out. Many of the challenges coming to our schools stem from the unfunded mandate coming down from the Republican Virginia governor. And for example, his recent decision to scrap the academic recovery and coaching programs for our students months ahead of schedule, leaving kids, families, and educators in a lurch. If you want a committed, engaged partner on the school board working to ensure that you have safe, valued, challenging, and connected school system, please consider joining my campaign. You can sign up in the back. I hope to earn your support and your vote in the caucus. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan.
Arlington is so fortunate that we have so many wonderful people committed to public service. It's just always a really great experience, and really appreciate all the people that have stepped up to run this year. And I don't know that we're over. I think next month we'll probably have some more announcements. So in fact, I'm sure we will. So stay tuned. And for all the people who came out to support their favorite candidate, be sure to see Karen Guevara before you get out of here. We have a sign-up sheet for new volunteers. We do so much good work throughout the year, and it's just so important that our committee be representative of our community. And I see so many wonderful faces in this audience tonight, and we would love for you to join us and work with us and help us in this cause. So thank you to everyone who came out for a candidate. This meeting is far from over, and thank you, Zach Lennox, for your exemplary time and service. And let's see, where are we gonna go? Yeah, so just a couple more details on our school board endorsement process. We've got 3 dates in May. There's gonna be a lot more information coming out. If you haven't noticed, we're working on standing up a new website, so that should be up pretty soon with a lot of new information, but here's some of it: May 8th, May 5th, 8th, and 11th at these locations. And for the first time ever, we are gonna have online voting through election day. I'm really excited about that. Yes, exactly.
To have access, and you may be limiting the access of voting for people.
And our new website is gonna be fully translatable, so all of the information will be in Spanish, and we'll have printed materials as well. And we're gonna do a door hanger program to get the information out. So and work through community partners like PTAs and other civic organizations. So we're gonna do our best to get that information out.
And we have 3 in-person voting opportunities.
Yes, yes, we do.
And the ballot system does support multiple language translations as well.
Thank you, Brian. Yes. All right. If you want to take a look at the full set of rules, we approved them at the last month's meeting. They'll also be on the website. Give people a second to scan that if they so choose. See a couple thumbs out. Very good. All right, now we've got some. Oh, I think this is a standalone slide, I believe. Our voter support team is recruiting volunteers for early voting. If you're interested in volunteering at our early voting polling locations, please reach out to voter support at arlingtondemocrats.org. And with that, I am going to welcome up our, oh, Larry, did you have a question?
Did you want to say something about the rank voting?
Yeah, so there's two openings. We will be using single transferable vote, which is similar to what they used last year in the county board race. It's a ranked choice method of voting when you have two openings. And you rank your selections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Thank you for that question, Larry. Let me welcome up our 8th district chair, Margo Horner, who's going to go through the state convention, district convention, drive back. Margo, welcome.
Thank you so much.
You want to do that? Let me do it.
Okay, we're going to talk about the HC. I'm going to run through it quickly, but if there is anyone here who has a question at the end, feel free to come up and just talk to me. If there are further questions about running for national delegate, further questions about running for national delegate, we can get to them. Okay, Steve, can we? Thank you. Okay, we have basics and definitions, calendar, steps to become a delegate, questions. Next, Steve. Okay, these are basically the topics that will be covered. Next, Steve. Okay, this is done in different colors so that you focus on the different types of delegates that we are involved with this year in a presidential year. Okay, first one is district level delegates and district level alternates. That means that they are going to be elected at local caucuses. Okay, local caucuses. Pledge party leaders and elected officials will be at the state convention. At-large delegates and at-large alternates will also be at the state convention. Automatic party leader, that's just an automatic leader who goes, i.e. if you had a DNC chair, like Terry McAuliffe, he automatically goes. He does not have to run. Okay, delegates to congressional district convention like Don Beyer or Senator Tim Kaine, they go too. At-large electors, you have, the district has 11 congressional districts, okay? So that means that there's one congressional elector at each congressional district, and then 2 at large. That event is held in December. Okay, next slide. All right, district level. These are the folks going to the national convention in Chicago. It must be available August 19 to 22. Delegates and alternates pay their own way. I'm sorry. And DNC does not cover it. Local Democratic committees do not cover it. State does not cover it. Okay. District delegates are elected at CD conventions. That is on May 18. So, and at large in state convention in June. Next one. Okay. 8th district. We have a total of 8 national delegates. That means 4 men, 4 women. We have the most. Okay, we have 1 female alternate. Next, please. Then we have at-large delegates and alternates, 21 delegates and 6 alternates. That's at the state. Move again. Okay, party leader and elected officials. These are the folks going to the national convention in Chicago. To qualify, you must be in one of the following, and priority is given in this order. It shows head of a city mayor, large city mayor, state legislative leader, state legislator, other state, county, and local elected officials. This allows the speaker, Scott, not to have to run against one of us at a congressional district. We will go. So I'm just letting you know that. I'm very sensitive to that, and I will speak to any elected official who wants to go at a district level. I advise they go at a state level. Okay, Cleos are elected at the state convention in June. Next one. Okay, Cleos, there are 13 delegates, no alternates. Next. Okay, automatic delegates. I mentioned this before with regard to DNC or distinguished leaders. We also, these folks are going to the national convention. The folks aren't elected. Anyone in the categories is an automatic delegate. And also DNC members go. Next. Okay. All righty, district level and at large. These folks will be are not going to the national convention in Chicago, but they are going to the district convention and the state convention. Okay, the electors must be available to attend the Electoral College in Virginia, in Richmond, in December 2024. District level electors are chosen at CD conventions in May for the congressional level, and then at large in June at state convention. Next one, Steve, please. Okay, delegates, CD and state convention. These folks are not at all, as I mentioned before, going to Chicago, but they are going to the CD convention on May 18th and the state convention on June 22. They get to vote on district level delegates and alternates, district level electors at May, and at-large delegates. At-large electors and pleos in June. They are elected at local caucuses. Local caucuses mean that you'll have one in Arlington. Next. Okay, now CD delegates. Again, these are the number of state level delegates at your local level. Okay, so VA 8th Congressional District has 209. Okay, next, the localities. Alexandria has 44 state delegates. Arlington has 69, Fairfax County has 91, and Falls Church City has 5. Okay, there are also some alternates involved in that. So next one, please. Calendar, please move on. Okay, this goes way back to when we were getting signatures for Joe Biden. And Joe, thank you for coming today. I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you. Next, 1219. There are a lot of folks that worked on that. It was certified 1219. Now we're getting to Super Tuesday. Let's move on. Super Tuesday. I don't know if you know this, but one member of the House of Delegates from Arlington, Mary Marshall, was instrumental in the Super Tuesday that came into effect in 1988. And at that time, you had 4 candidates running for president: Dukakis, Jesse Jackson, Gephardt, and Al Gore. Part of this was started by a lot of Democratic leaders who felt we were missing out, being in the South, on being able to elect someone to president. So they thought at first that Chuck Robb would run for president. He did not want to do it. They also thought that Sam Nunn from Georgia would run. He did not do it. And the one who did run from the South, Al Gore, well, he didn't catch fire. So moving on, let's keep going. Okay, Super Tuesday, it's coming up, big day for all of us. Okay, and the 25th is when CD calls to convention are due. So that's when I did that, done along with a colleague here, Matt Savage, who's working with me. Next one, please. Okay, April, that's where Steve comes in. Local calls to the caucuses are due. Then you have the local caucuses that will elect delegates to state conventions and to CDs. Okay, move on to the next. Okay, these are the dates that the state party has in the call when you can have a state convention. We selected May 18th, the one in the middle here. That will be at Alexandria City High School. Okay, and that starts at 10. And that's again, we're going to elect national delegates, 8. We're going to have 1 female alternate. We'll have presidential elector. Okay, just letting you know. And Don Byer will be speaking to us there. Okay, next, can we go on? Okay, state convention, state delegates elect, at-large delegates, pleos, and at-large electors. So that's 6/22 in Richmond, begins at 10 a.m. Okay, next one. Okie dokie. Then for those folks who were elected as a national delegate, who were also at large, they will be going to Chicago. Again, you gotta pay your own way, but these are the folks that will be joining in that wonderful endeavor to re-elect. Aha, yes, sirree. Go ahead, next one, please. Okay. How do you become a national delegate? Go ahead. Super Tuesday happens. See if your preferred candidates get any delegates. When I say that, that means they have to achieve at least a 15% in the 8th district and a 15% of the entire state to get qualified to get some delegates. So we'll see what happens. Look for the calls to the convention, both the state and the 8th district. File the declaration form for your preferred candidate by 15 days. These are filing deadlines. You can't miss them or you're out of trouble and you're not going to Chicago. Okay, So May 3 in the middle here, that is for the, May 18 convention. So you've got strict dates for this for all of the positions that are on a ballot. Okay, next one. All right. All righty. Now, again, you're keeping an eye on this. The state party is getting that information together, and then it sends it to Steve and to me and other people who are on the central committee. Okay. But by May 30, if you want to run for, let's say, anything at the state level, you got to put your filing form in. I'm not going to say you pay any filing fees. We don't do that, okay? But you've got to have these things arrive on time, and it's to be sent to me and to be sent to the chairwoman of the Democratic Party of Virginia. Next, please. Okay, save the date. I think that's great. Joe, please come. Come on, please come. We hope you make it.
18 more to go. All right, if you're not sure, that was a lot of dates coming at you. We will keep everyone up to date. We will vote on our caucus rules at the March meeting for Arlington caucus. We will send 69 delegates to the district convention. So if you're interested in being a voter at that district convention, you will want to be one of those 69 delegates. And you know, as the wheel moves forward, we'll just keep reminding people of the deadlines and the timing. And it's always an exciting time of year. And where is Tony, do you want to do this one? Finance Chair Tony Weaver.
Thank you, Steve. I'm Tony Weaver, your Finance Chair. And for all of you who don't know, the Blue Victory Dinner is our biggest fundraiser of the year. It is coming up. It is the 20th of April. It says so on the slide. For those of you who don't have your phones out, get them out now. Put that number in your calendar. Next slide. And while you got your phone out, have a picture of this, because we need you to sign up for our Sustaining Donors Program for Roosevelt Development Society. Get those phones out. I want to see them snapping. I see some set. There's one. Very good. Sign up. We need it this year. We need it more than ever. Thank you very much. I know we got a lot of slides left. So without further ado, here you are, Steve. Thank you. Okay.
All right, now we do have, let's welcome up Sarah Florence.
All right, I'm gonna try to speak into this mic well. I'm traditionally not that great at it. So after our last steering committee meeting, you asked and you shall receive committee presentations for each monthly meeting on different things that can help us talk to voters. So tonight I'm going to go over a little bit about what plain language is, which is an accessibility issue for how we talk to people, present information online, and pamphlets, things like that. It is essentially communication with clear wording, structure, and design for the intended audience to easily find what they need, understand what they find, and use that information. Hold on a second. So why is it important? It's important for accessibility. And when I say accessibility, I don't just mean disabled people, although that is certainly included too, including people who use assistive technology like screen readers and speech recognition software. But it is also for folks who speak English as a second language, or people of any age bracket that may not have had access to formal education, or whose reading level is only average or below. And that is not to judge anybody. That is just a fact. You know, we need to communicate with people of all stripes here. And it is also for people with a wide range of disabilities, including things like dyslexia. It could even be age-related memory or cognitive issues, like Alzheimer's, things like autism, and any other kinds of learning disabilities. It's also important for literally anyone. If you have ever felt like this, it's for you too. So what are we going to use it for? We're going to use it for talking to voters, for posting online, including social media and websites, anything else. for all our printed stuff, like voter education and flyers, and be aware that we have newcomers like tonight at our meeting. So learning plain language is a little harder than it seems. We don't tend to think like this. So it's more an exercise of thinking like the newest person in the room and whether they can understand you. The way to do this is by using descriptive words and active verbs, which means that you should leave your jargon and SAT words and uncommon acronyms, especially at home. I feel a little weird saying that after Marco's thing. Simple, concise sentences that have a logical flow. But it's also really important to remember that less is more. Do not jumble a ton of information together. People will not likely understand you. Stuff that's visually organized with lists and headings and subheadings helps a lot. And avoiding things that contain nuanced information where you have to think an extra couple of steps to figure out what it means. So we're gonna go through a couple examples of what it looks like and what it doesn't look like. I kind of feel like Arlington Democrats can be like that sometimes. At least it certainly felt like me the first time we came here. Full of jargon, lots of special terms, that stuff like legalese. We use it a lot in politics, and organizations tend to use it a lot for things internal to the organization. And also things like acronyms. So things like the PACT Act. We might in this room know what the PACT Act means, but if you're talking to a voter, they might not and probably likely don't. GAO, Government Accountability Office, or even stuff like ACDC. Is it Arlington Democrats or is it the rock band? Sometimes I wish it were more of the latter. All right, so instead, if you need to use jargon, which it is okay sometimes, just use a definition. So things like absentee ballot, it's a ballot that you drop in the mail or you drop it off in a Dropbox. People might not understand what absentee means. For things like acronyms, provide the full name of the organization as long as that name is understandable and or a definition. You can also just describe the group. So things like the PACT Act down here, it's a law that was passed by Congress to help veterans with cancer health care. You could expound upon that more. But ACDC can also turn into Arlington Democratic Committee for formal things, Arlington Dems or Democrats, or the branch of the Democratic Party in Arlington. Another quick example, so if you feel like using big words to sound super educated, right? Instead, you should describe something instead of relying on vocabulary, especially specialized vocabulary. If you need to use big words, just use them less often. And you should use simple sentences. So the word pops out and a person might know to ask a question for what it means. This flavor needs to be better. Thank you. So here's an example of what to do if you're writing a paragraph. So this is an explainer on Medicaid. Right there on the left, that's an example of how to hide a bunch of information and make it harder to understand. And on the right, that's a better way to present the information so that it's clearer to readers of all levels of comprehension. So there are a ton of resources out there. There's actually a plain language act that the federal government has to abide by in law for their websites and things. So they have a ton of resources online at digital.gov and plainlanguage.gov. But there's also a lot of different accessibility resources, and comms team, myself especially, we are happy to help you find these things. While you're designing or figuring out scripts or things like that. And I'm sure our disabilities caucus is also happy to help with this too. And last quick pitch, I'm reminding you guys to amplify our social media everywhere. We're ArlDems. And if you have questions, you can contact me at communications@arlingtondemocrats.org.
Wow, thank you, Sarah.
All right, let's see, where we're gonna go next? Sarah Lanford, precinct operations.
The other Sarah. Thank you. I love seeing so many new faces out there. If you have never been to an Arlington Dems meeting, it's your first one, raise your hand. Oh my God, that's amazing. I'm gonna put that out there. I'm super glad we have a lot of new faces here tonight. I want to start by sharing some great news, which excuse me, is that over the past month, Fran and I have had conversations with about, I don't know, 25 people, and we've convinced this lovely group of folks to take on the role of becoming a precinct captain in their neighborhood. For those of you who are new, we have 54 precincts in Arlington. There's a polling place in each precinct, and there are about 900 to 6,000 voters in each precinct. So precinct captains are responsible for organizing within their precincts, turning out every last Democratic vote, and helping kind of be the face of the party in our neighborhood. So can I get a motion to approve these folks as precinct captains?
So
Thank you, Evan. Do I have a second? Thank you. I have a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Did I hear you? See, that's on. Okay. Great. Thank you. A big round of applause for these folks who have Okay, we're kicking off the year this Saturday. We have a precinct captain retreat at Walter Reed Community Center for all of our precinct captains and our precinct leaders. Super excited. I think so far about 60 folks have RSVP'd, and we're gonna have a lot of great programming. The one I'm most excited about is a panel on best practices for organizing in your precinct. It's gonna be super fun, but we're also gonna do a lot of team building. We're gonna eat some donuts and pizza. So if you haven't told me that you're coming yet, please do. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we're also going to have some virtual trainings later this year for our precinct ops folks. We're going to do a VAN 101. Plain language. VAN is a website network we use. We pay for from the national party, the state party, that lets us, kind of keep track of all the registered voters in the county. And then we're also going to have Sarah give us a communications training about how to turn out the vote and do more plain language stuff. So, look for that if you are on the precinct ops team. I'm super excited about this. Okay, how many people have voted already? Okay. Just a reminder that early voting has started. Usually I ask that question because everyone in this room raises their hand and I say, oh my God, I'm so glad you've already voted. That means you're free to help us vote on election day. But I also cannot talk because I haven't voted yet. So make sure you vote early so that you can then take a shift to poll greeting on election day. So much like we do on general election day, we do poll greeting for the primaries. This year we have 2 primaries because we have the Super Tuesday in less than a month now. And then we also have the primary in June. But first things first, we're gonna be out at the polls from 7 to 10 a.m. and 4 to 7 p.m. We're not passing out simple ballots because we don't endorse in a primary. But what we will be doing is grabbing people on the way when they're done voting and they're on their way out. We're going to say, hey, do you want to protect democracy this November? Do you want to help us out? And we found that that's really fruitful ground for recruiting new volunteers. I think last June we recruited about 350 folks across the county. And I feel like we're going to do even better than that this year because people are fired up and ready to go. If you couldn't tell from our precinct captain list. So I'm really expecting that to be, a really useful effort. It's really fun to be out on election day. I'm super excited. I usually don't get to poll greet, but I have signed up for my shift. So all that's to say, if you are interested in poll greeting, let me know, but I'm sure you'll also be hearing from your precinct captain soon if you haven't already. As we said at the top of the meeting, we have our second book club meeting, is March 25th at 6:30. We have a nice long time to read this book. We chose one that, should be available pretty easily at the Arlington Public Library, and I think it will be a great Black History Month read as well. By Pulitzer Prize winner Isabel Wilkerson. Check that out. We had a great first meeting, at Central Library talking about Democracy Awakening. Would recommend reading that book if you haven't picked it up already. So shout out to all the folks who came, and if you have ideas for what books we should read next, shoot me an email or find me. But I'm super excited about this. Anyone's welcome to come, you don't have to be in precinct docs, feel free to invite your friends. And then finally, I did just want to provide a quick look at the year ahead. So, Steve talked at the top of the meeting about our goals within ArlDems, and I wanted to kind of narrow down on what we're really looking to in precinct docs to contribute to those goals. Our focus is really going to be on building relationships with voters in South Arlington. I'll just say, as a Democratic Party, I don't think we've been particularly good at that, right? So I think it's on us to kind of meet voters where they are, and build relationships with those in that community. Because we know that you pick someone off the street in Arlington, chances are they're voting for Democrats. It's whether or not they turn out on election day. That's where the big disparity is. So I would really love to build relationships with those folks in South Arlington, to increase turnout in those neighborhoods and those precincts. Super excited, we have our kickoff planning call for that with a bunch of different functional areas this Sunday, so stay tuned for more information on that. Precinct Docs is also committed to working with voter support to do one voter registration event per area. We have 10 areas, so that'll be 10 voter registration events. Super excited for that. And then we're going to work with Beyond Arlington to host 10 postcard writing parties. I know Josh, I don't know if Josh is still here, but they've committed to writing 150,000 postcards. So between now and November, so we're going to try to help make a very tiny dent in that. I've already hinted this, but we'll be doing poll reading for the June 18th primary. So if for some reason you don't want to hold this, in a month, put June 18th in your calendar now. We'll be doing the same thing, that modified schedule, 7 to 10 a.m. and 4 to 7 p.m. And then, of course, without fail, we are always out in in September. The last 2 weeks of September, we'll be dropping off messengers at every accessible door in the county. And I'm also hoping that we can raise so much money that we'll be able to do more mailers to folks and our neighbors who live in high-rise buildings, multi-unit buildings that are typically very hard to get into, because those folks deserve information as well. And then finally, what's this all for? This is all for election day. I like to think sometimes I get really, discouraged is not the right word, but it's a lot of work what we do. And I just like to think, it's 7:01 on November 4th. I'm going to feel like we in Arlington have done everything we possibly can do to turn out every single vote, to offset the rest of the state, so that we can ensure we've done everything we can, have a lot of drinks, and hopefully celebrate. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to, and everything we do between now and then is getting to 7:01 on November 4th. So really, I just want to leave you with the thought that when we organize, we win. Say it with me. When we organize, we win. When we organize, we win. When we organize, we win. Thank you so much with that. I will be in the back of the room if you want to find me. I will turn it back to Steve.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Without any further ado, the indomitable Kip Malinowski.
Good evening, Democrats. How are you? Steve, you mind if I take the clicker? Yeah, no worries, no worries. All right, thank you all for coming out here tonight. We so appreciate that. So Beyond Arlington is our effort to elect Democrats beyond Arlington. Between Steve, Sarah, and all the wonderful people in this room, I'm not worried about about Arlington. I am worried about beyond Arlington. We got a ton of work to do. So here it is. We got to win the presidential election. We got to hold the Senate majority. We've got to retake the House majority. We got to win key state races. We're going to help with all of that. How are we going to do it? This way. First of all, to put this in context, Biden won the presidential election in 2020 by 42,000 votes and change. How is that possible? It's possible because if you flip 42,000 votes across Wisconsin, Georgia, and Arizona, Trump would have stayed in office. By contrast, in 2016, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, it was about 78,000 votes and they decided it. So that's how narrow these margins could be. We took the Senate in 2020 with just under 55,000 votes. And we lost the House in 2022 by 6,675 votes. So that's how narrow this stuff is. And by the way, Biden's margin in Arlington is right here. 83,000 votes. So we've got to export what we do in Arlington, and there's lots of ways we can do that. But I'm going to need everybody's help in this room. And so there's lots of things. First of all, some general principles. Joy in the struggle. Campaigning can be difficult, but we've got to find fun where we can. Please campaign wherever you want. If you got a friend in a certain state, please campaign there. But we are going to be focused on the most competitive states. We're going to be open to special opportunities. Yesterday, at the home of Sarah Florence and I, we did a phone bank for Tom Swazi in New York the 3rd. We're doing another one tomorrow night. We're doing another one Monday, and in between Steve Baker, Brian Coleman, Rose Fabia, and one more, and Austin Locke. We are all going up to New York to campaign and knock doors all Saturday and all Sunday. This is that important. And Rose Fabia is our vice chair for Beyond Arlington, and she's fantastic, making sure we get this word out about all the stuff we're doing. So, the presidential race, this year is likely not going to depend on Virginia. It's likely to come down to these 7 states. So we need to focus on them. We're not the only ones focused on them. Swing left. If you just Google swing left, they got a strategy session where they break this down. But Pennsylvania and North Carolina are the 2 states right next to us that we can and we must win, and we will win with your help. So all of these things are part of it. And if you go to the Swing Left website, you will find the Arlington Democrats page. They brought in new volunteers with us because we are working hand in glove with every organization that we can. So not just Swing Left, but any of you that listen to Pod Save America, Cricket Media, we're combining with Vote Save America on the same priorities. For the Senate, we're going to do what we can. These are the Democratic seats that we must hold and the open seat that we must defend in Michigan. We'll do what we can there. The House of Representatives, our other vice chair, Anjana Prashari, she works for the DCCC, and we need to flip 4 seats after we flip Tom Swazi's seat. So, and then these are all the districts. There's a ton of seats up here, tons of names. These are the ones where we're on the offense, and we do have Virginia on this list with Virginia too. Jen Higgins has a seat in Virginia, but not for long. And the bottom line, we're defending 29 seats at the moment. These numbers will change. 33 seats are in play. We need to flip 5. So right now, and actually 2 of the biggest states, New York and California. 8 in California, 6 in New York, and we flip 1 on February 13th. The states really, really matter. There's really one competitive governor's race in the country, and that is in North Carolina. And not only governor, attorney general, a lieutenant governor, and state Supreme Court, and the state legislature. So North Carolina is hugely important, and that's why, unless we hear from the Biden campaign directly that they need our help in Pennsylvania, North Carolina is going to be where we're going to be focused. And a few more things about North Carolina. So if we win Wisconsin, we win Pennsylvania, we win North Carolina, Biden is reelected. They've got a targeted swing race. They've got the governor's race. They got a Supreme Court race, and we've already done a fundraiser with the state party chair there. So that is our focus. And this is, if anyone has friends down in the Raleigh-Durham area, right close to it, is that district that we've got to defend. We will stay tuned for road trips and announcements on that. And here are every single precinct in North Carolina, all 2,657 of them. You do the math on this, it was 28 votes per precinct that kept Biden from winning North Carolina in 2020. And for the state Supreme Court, which is really, really important because they get to decide the lines, they get to decide voting rights, abortion rights, that was decided by 1 vote for every 6 precincts. So that's how crucial this is. So all sorts of things we can do will work. I'll leave it to Sarah to talk about the message. If you haven't seen Biden's re-election message, it's really good. It really emphasizes what is all at stake, but it comes down to freedom. This is about freedom, and the key thing is you take one of these issues, you make it your own. You tell another voter why it matters to you after you listen to what they have to say. Telling that really is the most effective thing that we can do. So with that, and what Trump is talking about, of course, is revenge and dictatorship. So it is no joke that democracy is on the line here. And what works? Does all this stuff actually work? And the answer is yes. basically for every one packet, every packet you take is knocked doors, every turn you take is knocked doors, you just got one vote that you would have otherwise have gotten. For every 36 phone conversations, which on the phone systems these days and the dialers, you get one vote that you would have otherwise have gotten. For every 71 postcards, you get one vote that you would have otherwise gotten. And for every 381 texts, you got one vote that you would have otherwise gotten. So on this slide, please pick some combination of these things and commit to doing something beyond Arlington this year, because I really believe democracy is at stake, voting rights is at stake, climate is at stake, the right to organize is at stake. We need to win this race, and I can't do it alone. We need to have our help. We need to be putting all that we can to do this. So take some combination of these activities, and where can you find them? Well, we got a slide for that. So the actions that we're going to do every week, we'll get an email of opportunities that we'll talk about what's going on. We're going to have phone banks once a week at our home. And we're going to buy pizza too, in addition to other stuff. We're going to do themed phone banks, elected officials. I'm coming for you. I need you to come over and help lead some of these, along with labor unions and other affinity groups. And we're going to work the special opportunities. And Tom Swazi, the election is the day before Valentine's Day. It's this coming Tuesday. We've got to win this race so that we cut those margins. This is where it is, by the way. New York's 3rd district. That's where we'll be going. We'll be going up there at 5 a.m. on Saturday. Let me know if you want to join. And then the phone banks are right here. And the link to get into all this stuff is coming right up. And we'll have a couple more phone banks at those dates. We've got the North Carolina opportunities are already going because North Carolina Democrats are active. They have a fantastic new state party chair, the youngest person in the country, Anderson Clayton, who's doing some fantastic work there. We're going to be partnering with them. But let me pause on this slide. Here is this QR code will take you to this link, which gives you opportunities to sign up for all this. So we got texting opportunities, we got calling opportunities, we got canvassing opportunities. So please do something to get involved because we have to win. Yeah.
Very quick announcement. I forgot this in my example slide. So I want to say, write postcards. We wrote 5,000 postcards for Tom Swazi.
Yes.
We're going to start stockpiling letters and postcards to swing states, to swing districts. So our goal is 150,000 postcards between now and this October. So yeah, blue families sign up. I don't have a slide, but that's how you can do your postcards.
And Jeff, we can just add it to this link. This is going to be a living document. When we get the website updated, this will be there. It'll just go on the email. We'll always have the latest opportunities. We'll always have a couple opportunities that you can get involved with. There's actually another special election for the Pennsylvania House in Bucks County on that same Tuesday, so there's an opportunity there. And we've also got resources to some of these slides that you've seen. They're all up here as well. But just please spread that word. My contact information is right here. Again, Kip Malinowski, that's my phone number. That's the email to reach me at. But please just come up and talk with me afterward. I'm warning you right now. I got a clipboard and I'll put you to work. So thank you all for your time and thank you for coming.
Thank you, Kip. Yep, this is the year where everyone, please do something for some combination of things, like Kip said. I'm going to welcome up Zach Lenny and our outreach crew for our outreach presentation.
After this, I need Kip to tell me his secret to maintain his energy at 8:30 p.m. It's quite impressive. This is the call to the outreach team. If you guys do want to say a few words about your functional area, please come up now.
Say some words.
You're good. Yeah.
I've heard some hip hop.
Zach Lennon. We're outreach. I know we're going along, so we will be brief real quickly. We have a vacancy with the Equality Caucus. If anybody has any interest or knows anybody who's interested in chairing the Equality Caucus, please let me know. A few strategic priorities just for the year in an effort to achieve the goals that everyone has laid out this evening. Okay, Sangita could not make it. Just gonna go real quickly through some upcoming events for your awareness. First, there's an Asian American targeted vote bank for Tom Swazi to flip that seat in New York. That's George Santos's former seat. All right, let me give this one next.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bogart Street. I currently serve as the secretary and the chair of the ArlDems Black Caucus. On Saturday, February 17th, the Black Caucus manumission tool will be held. Tickets are actually have been reduced to $20. I just got the link from Mr. Chapman, so please shoot me an email at hostsharif@gmail.com if you're interested in attending. I hope to see you all there, and I'm excited to learn about the manumission tool.
Disabilities Caucus Chair is Daniel. Dan, do you want to say a few words really quickly?
Okay, thanks. I'm Daniel Davis. I'm Disabilities Caucus Chair. And basically just wanted to promote our new leadership team. You'll notice some familiar names. Bryant is staying on as a senior advisor, but in order to make sure that he can focus on Arlington Young Democrats, I have named McGlynn Caution and Justin Bodner as our new vice chairs, and they will be helping me to make the trains run for the Disabilities Caucus. And I also wanted to announce that we are very excited that on Sunday, February 25th at 2 o'clock, we're going to, with our next caucus meeting, hold a dialogue with new Arlington County Board members, Susan Cunningham and Maureen Coffey, on disability issues and the work of the Arlington County Board. So hope many of you can join us. If you have any questions, you can as to how to join. You can email me or other officers, or check out the caucus Facebook page. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Equality Caucus, like I said, there's a vacancy, but Christopher Concepcion is very kindly staying on until we find a new one. He's going to probably hold a Equality Caucus brunch at Freddy's at some point in the next month or two. Labor Caucus, Keith could not make it tonight. They have a monthly call on the first Monday, or first Thursday of every month. So reach out to Keith if you're interested in that. Latino Caucus, also a wonderful caucus that's very active, chaired by Tanya Talento. One thing you guys should all be aware of, they are doing their first social of the year on February 13th. That's next Tuesday at Cafe Saison. So hope to see you guys there. Charlie.
That's me.
It's you.
Hey, everybody, I'm Charlie Garrett. I'm the, your chair of the Veterans and Military Family. Thank you. So,
Sorry.
And so, well, one more. So we're gonna have our quarterly planning meeting at Mark Teal's home on the 15th. That's his address right there. And I'm also the chair of the Veterans Caucus for the Democratic Party of Virginia. So we're gonna have our statewide all caucus Zoom meeting on February 21st. I'll be coming out with that. We are working on an event with Tim Kaine down in Virginia Beach. This date might change. And we are continuing to, announcement, we're continuing to collect our food at every Arlington Democrats monthly meeting. Last year, we donated 400 pounds. This year, we're trying to go for 1,000 pounds. So keep bringing the cereal, but bring some cans too. And there's one other announcement. I think there's one other announcement that we forgot to make tonight. Somebody got a big announcement. Y'all know that Kip and Sarah got engaged.
I wasn't gonna say it, but now that it's public, congratulations, Sarah. Women's caucus. Give it up for Sarah and Brittany, of course.
Yeah, I'm up here to talk about the women's caucus. You can find us later for congrats. Charlie, I can't. So we are having a couple upcoming events in February. First of all, we are doing the Planned Parenthood Lobby Day coming up, and that is on Valentine's Day. We are still in the process of figuring out transportation. They are not providing it from Northern Virginia this year. But if you're interested in attending that, let us know, and we'll see if we can get a group together for rides. If not, I'll be there probably. And then we also have a Valentine's Day brunch coming up on Sunday, February 18th at Screw Top Wine Bar at 11 a.m. And we'll have a bunch of other events coming up in March. I'm going to hand the mic to Brittany real quick.
So come see me if you're interested in the Valentine's event. I'll be outside, you can grab a business card, and there's some cupcakes out there. Also, next month, stay tuned, we'll have a panel discussion with women leaders. We're looking at bus boys and poets for the location, but it might be somewhere else.
Hi, everyone. I'm Vivian Batsu, and I'm co-chair for, or excuse me, co-vice chair for festivals and farmers markets, along with Rob Miller, who could not be here tonight. We have a very fun, exciting, and busy year planned ahead. First of all, we have a mission, and that is to increase voter turnout, enhance democratic visibility, and promote democratic ideals in Arlington County through meaningful engagement with the diverse communities in which we live and work. So festivals, we will once again be at the Festival Argentino, Clarendon Day, and the County Fair, but we are expanding our scope this year and are going to be at more festivals. And we are kicking off our festival season this month with the Field and Heritage Festival, which celebrates historically Black neighborhoods in Arlington. And so we're doing that in collaboration with the Black Caucus. So please mark your calendars for Saturday, February 24th, from noon to 5 at Charles Drew Community Center. There will be entertainment and food and lots of vendors. Also, we will once again be at the Courthouse Farmers Market. And this year we want to have a much more robust presence at the market. We will continue to do voter registration under the leadership of our wonderful volunteer, Colleen McCool. And this year we also want to use our presence there as a vehicle to really promote our democratic ideals and values and to really engage with our community. And how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to do that with your help. We want representatives of your caucuses and your organizations to be at the farmers market to let our community know who you are, what you're about, and what you're doing. So we really, really need volunteers. We need volunteers at the festivals and the Courthouse Farmers Market. The festivals are really fun, and what better way to start your Saturday morning than to come to the farmers market, see your neighbors, do some shopping, support local vendors, and yeah, hang out at our tent. So please come see me. I'll be in the back of the room, or email us at festivalsandfarmersmarkets@arlingtondemocrats.org to get involved, and we're looking forward to a great year.
Thank you, Vivian.
Awesome. Big round of applause for outreach. Thank you. Thank you, Democrats.
Well, thank you, Steve. I'll just run through some really quick hits here from NYD's activities this month. First, we had a couple of events in mid and late January. We had our new member happy hour. Thank you to our president emeritus, Tenley O'Hara, for helping with that. And we had our caucus reorganization where we selected new leadership for our issue-based caucuses. Thank you so much to Austin Locke for helping us there. And in terms of what's upcoming, we have our For the Love of Democracy happy hour. We all love democracy. It will be February 15th at 7 p.m. at Spider Kelly's. Be there or be square. And we will have our general body meeting on February 27th at 6:30 p.m. Location TBD. We'll have that forthcoming, but everyone is welcome. And I'll hand it over to Brian really quickly for one last announcement from us.
All right, hello, my name is Brian Atkins, president of the Arlington Young Democrats.
Yeah.
We make this really quick so we can get our cars out before they lock the garage on us.
Appreciate it.
Wanted to give a quick shout out to Phoebe Carlson, our vice president of AYD, for holding on the fort in January while I was out on a much needed vacation. So thank you for her for doing that and also making all the graphics for the slide. I'm not that when it comes to graphic design. I will hit that. Convention. So yes, we have convention in June for DPVA, but BAYD, we do it a little bit earlier, and we're going to Roanoke this year, Southwest Virginia. So does cost a lot of money. AYD, we believe in acceptable events, and that is why we front the cost for up to 20 delegates. So we covered hotels, conference registrations. So speaking of money, if you scan the QR code, it'll take you to our Blue page. If you know, everyone in this room donated like $25, we could probably clear all of our event registration and half of our hotel. So yeah, scan that link. And then forgot to put up here, but last night the Arlington Young Dems Executive Board approved the statement regarding the upcoming FY 2025 budget for Arlington County. In this statement, which we will be releasing probably sometime this week, we are voicing our support of much needed resources for the Commonwealth Attorney Office for Arlington County Fair and City of Falls Church. These resources include a conviction review attorney, an investigator, and a data analyst, and I'm forgetting one more. Do you remember what it was, Phil? Yeah, well, it'll be in our statement. Budget season is coming up. I do encourage everyone to participate because it is our tax dollars. More information can be found on Arlington County VA.us/budget, I believe. But other than that, I believe that's it. So thank you.
Thank you, Arlington Young Democrats. Thank you everyone for coming out tonight to this meeting. If they do close the garage up at 9, so be sure to take your candidate paperwork home with you. Look up your favorite candidates. Thanks everyone for being here.